So, there are three basic styles of laser tests. There's the point-to-point test, which is shooting a leveled beam across an area from a measured height, illuminating a target at the distant end, and then comparing those heights. A step test, which is shooting a beam across an area, and then making interval beam height measurements across that area. And then there's the I see it test, which is observing a laser's source glow from a distant location. In the FECore document explaining the laser tests, which were claimed to be performed at several different locations, the majority of diagrams depict the geometry which is used to determine a curved surface. All of these diagrams clearly display the need for a perfectly level laser, providing a tangent from the source location to derive all other measurements, whether across a plane or a curved surface. Since FECore is only performing a point-to-point test, the success or failure of these tests are 100% dependent on the laser being level. Their own documentation shows that the laser was never leveled. However, in that same document, there is only one reference made to any vertical alignment method. This is on page 13 of the document. It says, "The laser beam was adjusted parallel to the water's surface using the horizon line and visible city lights on the opposite shore as a reference." What this means is the vertical alignment of the laser was eyeballed to the horizon, therefore changing the type of experiment from a point-to-point experiment, which it claimed to be, to the far less useful I see it style, as no credible measurement can be made when eyeballing the horizon over a long distance. This has always been an issue for me for this test, and as expected, all members of FECore have muted or simply ignore my questions regarding this. Even just prior to the Board of Directors hangout, I asked a solid question and got booted by Bob, but not before he called me a clown and a troll. But when I released my laser refraction video, Mike Cavanaugh, aka Flat Earth Astronomy, and president of FECore, decided to have a few words with me. And after talking with Mike Cavanaugh, he referred me to these two images in the PDF as proof of the leveling technique of the laser. A photo of a laser level device sitting on the salad device, and of course a line on a tape measure, which apparently some poor sap had to hold for just short of 24 hours. But we'll get to that in a minute. So let's talk about the leveling procedure Cavanaugh claims. This is the DeWalt DW088K self-leveling laser. Very popular and quite small. This device is used by FECore to ensure their salad device is perfectly level, according to Cavanaugh. But what does this device do? And what does self-leveling mean? A self-leveling laser is just that. It's a device which projects a laser perpendicular to a plumb line at the device. Basically, the laser hangs below a pivot and works like this. This device will hold a level line, even if the device itself is offset by a few degrees. The function of a self-leveling laser is limited to the laser it emits, not what it is sitting on or affixed to. The DW088K does not have a locking function, which would lock the beam to the alignment of the housing. So if you have a surface, or in this case a laser, on the base, it will have no practical purpose for the levelness of that beam. In short, this device is absolutely worthless for leveling the base where the test laser is attached. Now, of course, you could get your height off the water, but nothing else. So back to the pictures that Mike Cavanaugh stated as being the leveling of the laser. The actual height of the leveling beam is 8 centimeters above the laser platform. The offset of the actual laser height from the platform is about 2 centimeters, giving an offset of 6 centimeters if the salad was actually leveled. So if the photo of the laser mark was the height that was used, there should be evidence that the laser hit the same tape measure 6 centimeters lower. So let's take a look at that. There are only two images of the blue laser hitting a tape measure. One is from page 64 of the PDF, and one is from the FECore website itself. The first one shows the beam hitting about the 284 centimeter mark, which is 2 centimeters lower than it should be at any distance from the assembly. This displays an offset of 8 centimeters. This is actually proof in itself that the photo is a fakery, or that they have no idea how to align the laser. The reason why it could be a possible fakery is because it is reflecting the 8 centimeter offset of the leveling laser from the base. However, the blue laser sits higher than this, therefore making it only 6 centimeters. So either the laser was misaligned by 2 centimeters, or somebody gratuitously made this photo to make it seem like they were leveling it correctly, not taking into account the height of the blue laser off the platform. If the tape measure was 10 meters away, this represents 0.1 degree of offset, which over 10 kilometers would be shooting the blue laser 20 meters lower than level. Or in basic terms, at 10 kilometers, the laser would miss being leveled by a height taller than the tail fin of a 747. The second image shows a laser hitting about 220 centimeters. This is also referenced in one of the images, which is 64 centimeters more offset, and would be an offset greater than the height of the World Trade Center at 10 kilometers. Actually, it would be an offset greater than all of the tallest buildings in the world with the exception of the one in Dubai, and that at just 10 kilometers away. So if the 292 centimeter high laser level line were in play, then the only two displayed blue laser measurements clearly show that the laser was not leveled at all, period. And in case you think I'm cherry picking this information, here it is in their own presentation. They claim for over 23 hours, there was absolutely no height change off the water, in this case in the Netherlands, a place that has tides. There was absolutely no height change of the laser, and they even clearly state that the laser was 72 centimeters, a little less than 2.5 feet, below the level line provided by the default laser level, when all of the marks should never have been more than 6 centimeters apart. Imagine being the poor guy who held this tape measure up for 23 hours and 20 minutes. Why is leveling the laser important? Simple. You need to have a benchmark to get the rest of your data from if you are doing a point-to-point measurement. If you wish to determine the shape of a surface of the Earth using the point-to-point method, plane or sphere, leveling the laser is the most important preparation you can make in that determination, because if it is off by even a fraction of a degree, your conclusion will be wrong, no matter how many short-range target photos you take, hoping that your followers didn't notice that they are not the actual results of your test. Now you might be asking, the Discovery Channel laser was performed at low level. Why do you consider that valid? Simple. The Discovery Channel show Genius, narrated by Stephen Hawking, performed a laser test but did a step-style test. This is where the laser is shot across a surface, and then incremental measurements are made along the laser's path. A step-style test, even with a laser not perfectly level, the cumulative measurements will determine quite accurately if the laser is measured above a flat or a curved surface, making this the most reliable method of testing. Something that Dr. Zach, an FECore crew member, found out when he stated during his step-level test that he had to continually adjust the height of the laser when he did his test. But yet, Dr. Zach and most other flat earthers had the nerve to call Stephen Hawking a liar. And something else which gets misused, even in this FECore document, drop height and hidden height are not the same thing. Just because drop height says 10 meters does not mean that 10 meters should be obstructed by curvature. Y'all need to really get that one right. Ultimately, this high-tech spectacle, as it is portrayed, clearly documents a farce. Hours of work put into all of the FECore laser tests resulted in nothing more than an I see it test, which is subject to the very same refractive principles that you see on the horizon nearly every single time you look at it, and is the favorite method of flat earthers, from Hungary to the Netherlands to California to Washington. A low-level I see it test is worthless. FECore officially states that they are all about science, following the facts wherever they may lead. According to Bob at FECore, results are shared with the non-member members of FECore, as well as the crews performing the tests prior to the release for critique and question. But nobody saw this? This is what happens when bias clouds your science. But when your board of directors and crews are all flat earthers,
we have Steve Torrance, we have Sandor Zelski, and we have Karen Karen Endicott with us. We have Mike Kavanaugh, we have Jaron Campanella, we have Rick Hummer, and of course myself, which comprises the 7 members of the board of directors for FECore.
But yet you claim
FECore, we came here because we are dedicated to science, and the science that we do is impartial. No matter what the conclusions are that we find, we're going to report it. It's as simple as that. We are not holding anything back. We do not have an agenda.
While stating,
and so what's on the horizon? I said I would mention a little bit more about the Field Engineers Core Group that has just recently been formed. And we are going to be doing lots of experiments. All of these will be used to prove that not only is there no curvature to the Earth, there is no forward motion to the Earth, as well as the absolute existence of the ether that Einstein eliminated with his special theory of relativity.
Just so that you can say flat Earth confirmed. Oh, sorry, roll that clip.
There it is. Earth proven flat.
From a live pretest, even though the test crew couldn't see what you claimed was proof.
Look to where you think it is. We're going to flash it. We're going to flash it on and off, okay?
Then don't claim to be about science when you just want to say that the Earth is flat. Now feel free to read the screen capture that I made of the since removed thread between myself and Mike Cavanaugh at your leisure.
Oh my God.